Hi everyone. Tonight we are playing Monsterhearts 2 with the Gauntlet. This is the fourth of four sessions, so the final session. And our first session was actually a game of Alice is Missing. Everyone in the group is playing a character, the same character as in the Alice is Missing game, and we have, I guess, seen a lot more of Silent Falls. So my name is Don. My pronouns are he, him. I guess we will get intros from all of our players and their characters in character keeper order, left to right.
Hi, I am Mark. I use pronouns he, him. I am playing Evan, pronouns also he, him. Evan is the Infernal in Monsterhearts. And the Infernal was described as being tempted, impulsive, and in over their head. They have a demonic patron. In this case, it is possibly the ghost or spirit of Bria from the Alice is Missing game. Bria has been in Evan's head since the events of Alice is Missing, helping to steer him toward accomplishing what she wants. And at this point, I think that he's kind of gotten rid of all the strings that Bria had on him. And Evan's going to go ahead and put 5 more strings back on for Bria back on him during the course of this last session, hopefully, and just burn it all down.
Yeah, burn it all. I mean, I think Bria has 1 string on you. I gave her 1 as a hard move last time, but yeah, I mean
I've got 4 to go.
4 to go. Okay, cool. And Jose, how about you?
Hey everybody, my name is Jose and my pronouns are he and him, and I'm playing Dakota, whose pronouns are also he and him. He was Alice's best friend when she was alive, but during her seance last time, that didn't really work out so well for him. He tried to, I guess, reawaken her humanity somehow by going in for a hug, and that turned out really poorly for Dakota. Alice kind of savaged him, and he has moved into his darkest self. So something snapped in Dakota at that moment, yeah. And as he got his, as that happened, he also advanced and somehow inexplicably became hotter than he was before, and we'll see how that plays out today.
It's
in this
all
session.
the ghost juice.
It's all that ichor or the ectoplasm. Just kind of, it's a good look on him.
It's an exfoliator.
I mean, like, everyone loves a bad boy. That's what my theory is. So on to Stephen.
Yeah, hey there. I am Stephen, he, him. And I am playing Jack, also he, him, the werewolf. I'm Alice's older brother. Last time we saw me, I was also at the seance. I forget how I ended up at the end of the seance. I know I had that whole exchange with Alice, and I had figured out a way to help her, which I think you said I take +1 forward on in the future, Donna, or I like flash back and reveal this is how I do it or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. So I think we didn't have any bright ideas at the time, but we'll, retcon that in whenever we do have a bright idea.
We didn't have any bright ideas, Donna. I'm just saying, like, that seems to be spreading around the blame a lot there.
It is. It's completely my fault.
But yeah, that's Jack.
Okay, and lastly, Max.
My name is Max. I use pronouns they and them, and I am playing Julia North. Pronouns she and her. Julia is a witch. And last we saw Julia, she had led a seance in her secret cave in the woods. and invoked Alice and managed to get Bria off her back. Bria had some strings on her. Is that how you would say it? Or had some, was in her body somehow, in her consciousness. But now Bria is out, and there's a storyline now about a heart in a box that is somehow the key to saving Alice from the hell in which she has become an evil ghost. And I'm not sure how that's all going to play out. It is the heart of the school counselor who Evan has a relationship with. And I'm not sure what's going to happen there. Did I miss anything vital?
No, that's a pretty good summary of just how deep the whole Evan is in. Okay, so yeah, I guess to recap a little bit on that kind of one of those points there, during the Alice is Missing game, Evan had given a heart, or had hidden a heart that Alice had given him in the lighthouse, but their friend, Charlie Barnes, had taken it, not trusting Evan. And now she has returned to town for this memorial service, which we kind of covered in brief details, but with the heart in a box. And I guess we finished the end of the last session kind of describing the box and what the heart was like and what the smell was like and what kind of memories it evoked in gory detail. So yeah, I wonder where I mean, I'd like, I guess the maybe Julia, who she gave the heart to, maybe you can think about where you're going to go with the heart and who you're going to bring into that. But first, I'm going to start with Evan. The tyranny of the character keeper order is strong, but I want to know how Evan is feeling after that seance where you kind of bucked against Bria's wishes a little bit, and I guess now that you know that Mr. Steiner, the school counselor, is kind of at the heart of darkness of this town, how are you feeling, and what are you going to do about it? More to the point.
Yeah, I think that Evan feels, I think that Evan is feeling right now like he's pushed Bria as far as he can at the moment in terms of like kind of putting her off. He is, I think he's in a position to kind of where he wants to get some things done, and he knows he's going to have to rely on Bria to do those things. One of those concerns is Mr. Steiner. Because something is very wrong with Mr. Steiner, besides the fact that he's kind of an asshole to Evan. There seems to be something deeper happening there, and I think that he is going to, at some point, he's going to kind of like try to contemplate what could be happening with Mr. Steiner and how it all relates with Alice and Bria. So he has got himself, he's got his hands on some mushrooms, and he is going to take those mushrooms and gaze into the abyss, I think, to kind of see what's going on.
Okay. Yep. That makes perfect sense.
Okay.
So where and when are you doing this? I guess it's kind of late in the evening of that memorial service. So I guess you can be in school or at home or wherever you want, really.
So it's late in the evening after the memorial service. And did the service precede the seance?
No. So the memorial was the next day.
Oh, okay. Thanks. Okay. So he is going to climb onto the rooftop at the school. He found a way to kind of like get through the doors and so on. And so he's up on the rooftop during the school day when he decides to take his shrooms.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, what
Yeah,
could possibly go wrong? And you have like something taped to your arm that says you cannot fly, or maybe if you pencil or taken an ink pen to your arm.
Lies.
Yeah.
Memento style. Okay. So why don't you roll 2d6 and add your dark, which is +1.
He wants to really get a handle on this, so
Okay.
he is going to he's gonna invoke Bria's power to help him with this, and
The power flows through you.
power flows through. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. That's +2
So it's gonna be
on this
+2.
roll. All for the low price of 1 string.
My die roll, and let's see. So we have with the dark +3. How you like me now? Pretty good.
That's a pretty good roll. I mean, who needed any of that mechanical crutches, right? Okay, so this is like the nature of Mr. Steiner and kind of what you could do about it, like what.
I mean, if Steiner is gone, does that rid the town of the darkness?
Okay, that's a good question. So I think your senses expand, right? And you can kind of see the stars above, and they probably, predictably start to tilt, right, and go a little bit askew. Almost like the same kind of effect you had at Maria's party, right?
Yeah.
But things are like, whereas that was just, this is these are stars that I shouldn't be seeing, or that like don't make sense to me. These are like seriously wrong stars.
Okay, cool.
They're bleeding, and they're kind of, I don't know, sucking in the light that's coming from the town. And I think you can kind of see like the center of gravity of that is on the other side of town. Maybe the old barn. Maybe that's a good location to tie back in. And in there, you kind of, your mind's eye kind of, veers off into the old barn, and you can see, bloody writing on the walls. You can hear chanting, and it sounds like it's like maybe reminiscent of Julia's speaking in tongues, but like the wrong side of that. Again, like a darker side of that magic. And yeah, you get a sense of Mr. Steiner at the heart of some dark coven in town.
Wow. Okay.
So it could be. I mean, for season 1, yes, killing or getting rid of Steiner would definitely end the threat. But if there was a season 2, obviously, the other coven members would be required to be got as well. How does that sound?
That's fantastic. Wow. Mind blowing. Thank you.
Okay. So let's zoom through. Let's zoom through the rest. Let's jump to Julia first. Are you bringing in the others for something with the heart, or do you want to do your own thing?
Yeah, I think that there's some kind of ritual that needs to happen for everyone, because there's another coven involved, and I'm not sure everyone can actually handle dealing with this coven because they're pretty dark.
But like Zoe and Megan, I assume are A team, right?
No, there's a sacrificial components. Yeah, so I think I mentioned something about a coven who likes to bury things, that's part of their magic, is that they bury things. And I think that we may need to actually bury this heart as a way of actually returning it to the earth and allowing some kind of process to happen to this heart. And we need the help of the coven whose specific magic is this. So I think who should be involved in that ritual? I notice I have a couple of strings on Dakota. So I'm wondering if Dakota could be some kind of helper, shall we say, perhaps somewhat sacrificial helper in this scenario.
Is that how you sell it, though? Is that how you
Somewhat
sell?
sacrificial.
Yeah, no, good point. I haven't thought this through quite perfectly. Yeah, so Dakota, I have a proposal for you. We need to, Dakota's I'm a helper teacher. Yeah, you are a 2, aren't you, Dakota? Yeah, so Dakota, I need your help with this ritual. We need to bury this heart if we have any hope of saving Alice. I know that you may have lost faith in that possibility given everything that's taken place, but I have not. And I think one of the things we need to do is bury this heart so we can get rid of Bria and try to save this town, right? We know that Mr. Steiner's heart is at the heart of this evil that has overtaken the town. And so would you be willing to come and help me? I can
Fuck
make it
no.
worth your while. Fuck no.
Fuck no. I'm tired of Alice, man. Alice, that thing isn't Alice. I don't think there's anything of Alice left in there. What she said to me yesterday was brutal. Why should I help her?
Because I have a page from your journal.
I saw you did have a page from my journal.
No, you saw that. I do. I have a page from your journal
I
that
was going to ask you about that.
yeah, remind me what's on that page. I can't remember.
It's Dakota writing about telling Alice that she should explore her wolf nature and his guilt about whether that has sent her down a dark path.
Yeah, I think you actually owe Alice. Like, let's be real. Having seen this page in your journal.
Oh, so you're on the "It's all Dakota's fault" bandwagon, huh? Oh, that's so
Well,
convenient for you, Julia.
not necessarily all Dakota's fault, but I think if you have any shred of a conscience, you'll recognize that you have a role here. Do you want to die knowing that you could have helped Alice and you didn't?
Okay, Julia.
Do you think that's worth a roll? That's pretty harsh, right?
That's pretty harsh.
I mean,
like
you're
a shutdown.
Yeah. I mean, you're trying to encourage someone to help you, but really, I'm hearing you're shutting them down. If that makes sense.
I'm trying to play my string.
Okay.
Oh, you could pull the string instead. You're
Okay.
trying to tempt me. Yeah.
Yeah. So you can
tempt me with guilt.
That
you
was
can do
my
that.
attempt to pull the string.
Yeah.
Sorry, I did. I should have said that. Yes, I have this page from your journal. That is my string. Is this sympathetic token, and I am pulling it right now. Pull, pull, pull.
So
Feel that pull.
so just a mechanical note, right? The journal is your sympathetic token. You also have like a regular string. So
Yes.
unless you're like giving Dakota back the page of the journal, it makes us
Oh,
like mechanically you probably still have the journal and you just like using the fact that you have it through the other string, right?
okay. Okay. Great. So yeah, I'm keeping that journal page, by the way, and spending my string to get you to help me.
Actually, if you sweeten the deal with the journal page, I want my journal back. You stole it from
Wait,
me. You ripped it
how
out of
does this work mechanically? If I pull a string, can Dakota just refuse me?
Yeah,
I
so
can refuse.
it's tempt, not force, right? So you can spend a string and they can say, no, I don't want your filthy XP. I'm gonna do whatever I want.
Oh, so I have to be charming?
Yeah.
No, you don't have to be charming. You could be aggressive with it,
Yeah.
but I
And
have
then
to
I
agree. I
guess
have to agree to it. Yeah.
Dakota's next step could be say, well, if you give me the page back, then I'll definitely
If you
do
use,
it.
if
Right.
you use that string,
But I think
I'll
in
help
that
you.
case, Dakota, you're spending a string to tempt Julia into doing something. And
Having
in
a
return
string war.
you'll do the thing.
Sure, if that works. A
We're,
double
we're
tempt.
spending our strings now.
Yeah, yeah.
What do you say?
All right. Okay, I'll
Julia?
give you back the page. This is really important. This is really
Was-
important.
That's big of you since it's my page, anyways.
Wow, when did
All
you
right.
become such a jerk, Dakota?
When you became so bossy, telling
I,
everyone
I'm on a mission
what to
here.
do. Yeah, I can see you're on a mission. All right, I'm going to help you. Just
Okay.
stop. Just get off my ass for a second.
Okay. So
You're just so hot. It's really hard to stay off your ass.
so you should both get rid of those strings and both take XP. That's a proper high school exchange program right there. Jack, what are you up to?
Oh man, I had not been thinking about that. What is Jack up to? So I forget. Was I in on like hearing about like the whole like there's a heart that issue thing?
Yeah, I think that was pretty public at the seance. The fact that Charlie had the heart, and I guess if the kind of agreement or the evolution of that was, she told Evan to fuck off when he asked her to bring the heart, and then Julia asked her to bring the heart back, and she said yeah. So, and that was like in the air. So I think everyone kind of knows that is happening or has already happened.
Yeah, I guess I mean, I guess just because just to get us rolling on this, I think probably Jack is gonna probably check in on Dakota because Dakota was pretty messed up the last time we saw him. Like that's just the thing. He just keeps getting messed up when he's around me, isn't it? But yeah, like so is this, to clarify, was this last conversation taking place at school or was it out of school?
What do you think, Julia? Maybe in the afternoon after the memorial service
Yeah, that sounds good.
at school
Mm-hmm.
as we were milling out.
Yeah.
And the ritual is supposed to be tonight. Is that what you said?
Yes.
Okay. So where would Jack come across Dakota if he wants to?
Oh. I think man, I think actually, can we do like a rewind then and flash back to a little bit before that conversation?
Sure.
If that's fine with you.
Fine with me.
Sorry about all this. I
Weaving plot strings, I can tell.
no, because I think like before the memorial service, I think I I mean we're basically in Jack's mind, I guess, an item, I guess. I don't know. So I probably like uh while you're at your locker at the start of the day, I probably, I don't know, come up behind you and try to like kiss you on the back of the neck and say, are you all right, Dakota?
And Dakota kind of leans into the kiss and leans his head back because normally Jack isn't so expressive with Dakota. So this actually feels kind of good, especially in the hallways of the school. Um, and Dakota says, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I feel like I'm all turned around, Jack. Um, I don't know what's going on through my head. Crazy thoughts are going through my head since that seance last night.
Oh, and I nod my head and I know I'm sorry for that, Dakota. I shouldn't have dragged you into that. I just I every time I'm around you, Dakota, I feel like you end up getting hurt.
It's not your fault. It's not your fault. It's actually there's plenty of fucking blame to go around, Jack. Uh, People have been stepping over me for a long time, stepping on top of me, stepping over me, pushing me down. Um, uh, it's not your fault. You've been like one of the rays of sunshine, actually, and in my life. I think I might be making an excuse for his poor behavior.
That's fair, yeah.
Despite your darkest self, I guess you can
Despite my
still do.
darkest, I can't help myself.
You
It's
cannot
hard when he's
refuse
still my
that sweet
lover.
XP.
I look down at the ground and I think and I'm really kind of blushing fiercely at this. When I kissed you out in the forest, it was a mistake. It wasn't fair to you. I don't think I'm in a place where I can give you what you need, Dakota. And I think we should take a little bit of a break so that I can get my head together. Look, you have that darkest self.
Dakota reaches out and puts his hand on Jack's neck to bring him in, and he says, "Jack, you can't, you can't. I
That's fair.
It's gonna be Dakota needs you." And I guess that goes at a +4. That's not 11.
It's something that, like, Jack's in a hurt place right now, and this is like, I think he is gonna give himself, yeah.
Janitorial room, closet. This is good timing.
So yeah, sorry, just shutting off my video here. I've got some bandwidth issues. So like, how does this scene resolve itself?
Yeah.
Like, what happens immediately after this?
Well, should we read? Sure. Let me find that. When you have sex with someone, you establish a deep spiritual connection with them. Until either of you at +1 to all rolls to defend them, you can tell when that connection has been broken.
And mine is, let me get it so I said it right. It's pretty straightforward. When you have sex with someone, it awakens something sinister within. The next time you take your eyes off them, they become their darkest self.
So
Yeah.
people hear me
What
okay?
do we do when we go?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Were you not getting any of that?
No, I got bits and pieces. Right before I turned my video off, my people were going a little bit robotic, so I caught the last bit. So where is this?
We've gone off to the janitorial closet. We hooked up. And I think as we're putting our like clothes back on in the closet, I think Jack kind of gives you this really sad look, Dakota, and says, I don't, I think I need to, this was nice, but I don't think anything's changed. And I'm gonna shut you down with that.
Okay.
I just let's just lean in here, because make this the biggest disaster. Hang on, it says I lost connection with that page. There we go. Okay, that's a 7. Wow.
I mean,
Uh,
not the biggest disaster, but
yeah. I mean, the whole this isn't gonna go well because the moment Dakota leaves this room angrily,
yeah.
I mean, I think I'm gonna give Dakota the condition rejected.
Okay.
And you can go ahead and give me more of those sweet conditions because Jack is just a condition sponge.
All right. I'm going to be rejected. And what do you've got? You've got heartless and poor impulse control.
I mean, I'm already leaning to both of those.
You are leaning into both of those. What more could I give you? Maybe well, I don't know what else to give you. Maybe irrational?
Okay,
Because rejecting Dakota, that's irrational. Man.
exactly. And I'll just mark an XP now for when Dakota storms out, and we'll see what happens there.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. You get XP. Yeah, I think Dakota's just stunned. He can't believe what just happened. And Jack storms out. Yeah, because I think when I'm shut down, I can't act. So yeah, and Jack storms out of the janitor's closet, pulling his t-shirt on, and Dakota just the scene ends with Dakota's stunned face.
Mm-hmm.
Are you getting that, Donna?
Yep, sounds good. I'm just thinking, can you hear me all right? Okay.
Yes.
I'm thinking maybe we take a break now. I see if I can get my internet in order, and then we come back to it. Yeah. So let's say back in 10 minutes or so.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, thanks. Okay, so I guess that is the Jack hurtling towards darkest self show after getting with Dakota. Let's cut back to Evan. You know, your trip down from the school roof high in mushrooms. What's your plan after this? You want to share your vision with the others or keep going solo?
Yeah, actually I'd like to text Julia. And so I text Julia and say, hey, I know that Charlie left the heart with you. And like Evan does know that, right?
Yeah.
Before I overstep. Okay.
I think so.
And listen, I think that this is all tied back to another coven using the old barn. And I think that they might have buried something there and done a ritual at the old barn that's somehow related to Steiner and the darkness in the town. That sounds like a text message.
Oh my.
It's a little surprise face emoji.
Yeah, exactly.
Strategically speaking, I feel like it's like risky to tell Evan too much because I'm telling Bria. Whatever I tell Evan, I'm telling Bria. And Bria has agreed to leave me alone, but I think I don't want Bria knowing anything about our plans with the heart. So let me think about what I would say back to Evan.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's a text message, so you can just not respond, right? I mean,
Mhm. I'll just respond by saying, interesting, comma, thanks for letting me know.
and I think, Bria is in your head, Evan, right? So she like snorts, like, come on, that witch knows something.
I know. I don't know how to make her play ball here.
You don't know Hallwell? I mean, you can go and show her.
Evan doesn't laugh like that. Okay, I just gotta think about it. Damn it, Jose. Oh, you're gonna get me in trouble. Well, I mean, that's what I'm after, though, isn't it?
Getting into trouble?
Yeah, that's what the game is about, right?
Yeah.
Julie, jeez, come fight me, great. Okay, I think that after that exchange and that information from Bria, if Bria's not going to take any more action for the moment, I'm just going to sit on this for a moment and think, if that's okay with you, Donna. Or is Bria going to push?
I mean, like, I think she's going to have that, like, Vicini moment after 5 minutes of you just sitting there going, I'm waiting, right? But she's not going to push hard unless
Okay.
you're, unless you settle down to watch a TV show on the couch or something like that.
Okay, no, I'm smoking and pacing and thinking.
Okay, so yeah, I think do we want to cut to sorry, Julia, where do you want to do this ritual? Do you want to do it at the old barn or do it in your neck of the woods, so to speak?
I think I want to do it more in my neck of the woods, not at the old barn. And this other coven is deep in the woods, and they may have used the old barn at one point, but I'm not inclined to go back there. So I have another cave. I have so many caves. And so let's do it in my other cave. I'm cave rich.
What's this cave like? Is it very, very different?
It's
feel?
even more hidden than the last cave. And in fact, it's so hidden that you can only get there by accidentally falling into it. And yeah, unless you actually know where it is, most people just accidentally fall into it, and then there they are. Am I going there now?
Yeah, I guess I mean, if you want to and you want to bring the others along, then that's fine. Is there like, does the cave require, or do you require the others to be like blindfolded getting to it, or what kind of secrecy?
This cave is in a part of the woods that gets very confusing, and it sort of intersects with the Fey Woods. And so everyone who tries to go in that direction gets disoriented. And so there's really no need to blindfold anyone because nobody knows where they are or remembers where they've been when they go to this place. And so I guess I'll say Dakota and I have met up, and I'm taking Dakota now to the cave. And we're walking through the woods, and Dakota isn't sure where he is. Are you there, Dakota?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm with you.
And I know where we are. And so I at some point, as we near the entrance to the cave, I get behind Dakota, and I push Dakota in to the cave.
I mean, I'm falling down a hole. Is that what you're telling me?
You're falling down a hole, but there's actually a soft landing. You don't even feel yourself land. It's so soft. This cave has a lot of magical properties.
Julia, what the fuck?
Here, I'm right behind you. I'm right behind you. Here I am. Here I am. This is a special place. You've never been here, and you'll never be here again. And this is where we're going to bury the heart. And as I say that, other witches emerge from the shadows of the cave. And they're there to help us. And they say, "Welcome, Dakota."
Are these friends of yours, Julia?
Never you mind who they are, Dakota. You don't need to know.
So why don't you paint a quick picture of these crony or ancient crones of witches for us,
Yeah,
Julia?
I mean, these witches have incredible magic, and they have adapted their appearance so that they basically look like dirt. They have like come out of the earth, and they just look like clumps of dirt with some facial features and some arms that are kind of like dripping with mud or dust. And yeah, they're pretty creepy looking. And some of them have horns, some of them have random animal features. They just look like amalgam creatures of the earth. And
Which is
I have a good working relationship with these folks. And I've already been in conversation where I'm seeking their help, and they know about the heart. They were not the original coven who took the heart. There's another coven, apparently. But they are here to help me give the heart back to the earth. And we'll see what happens.
Which is the member of the coven that you have the most hesitation about? The one that you think might be malevolent?
It's the man. The only man in the coven. I don't trust men. So yes, I have hesitation about the man. The man takes great interest in you, Dakota.
That's what I figured. I think Dakota's down the rabbit hole again, and this witch is gonna get a string on Dakota.
Can we give this? Or we just say the coven of witches have a string on you, or do you want to give this this witch a name?
You got a name, Max?
We'll just call him
You call
Beazle.
him the man, so he's the only one.
Beazle man.
Peasel man?
Beazle man.
Okay.
So Beazle man has a string on you. Basically, the coven has a string on you.
Got it.
And I think, you know, have you ever brought Alice here, Julia?
No.
No. So I think this witch looks at Dakota and like puts his grubby fingers on you, like examining, and then like where your heart is, or where you imagine your heart is, and looks around at, you know, his fellow witches, if we can use that phrase, and and this kind of sharp sickle-like dagger just comes out of the muck. And maybe this is just freaky shit, or maybe he thinks that the heart inside your chest is the one that they're going to bury in the earth. It still beats, his heart.
Dakota's backing up against the cave wall. There's nowhere for him to run. Julia, do something.
Beazle Man, I realize that Dakota is incredibly sexy, but that is not the heart that we are here to bury. The heart we're here to bury is here with me in this box. So I give the box to Beazle Man.
And he approaches this box like it's like a beautiful piece of art, right? And last week we described it as really ramshackle and like kindergarten style in terms of aesthetic, really rough. But it's like a shining beacon of sophistication to Beazle. And he cracks it open. It doesn't beat. His heart would be much better to bury in the earth. It still beats.
Unfortunately, this heart has power. This heart has power, and we need to offer it back.
Mine's just a regular heart. Mine's just a regular heart. It doesn't do anything.
Yeah. But the reason I've brought Dakota here is to help us, and it's my understanding that if we add some blood from Dakota, that will help the earth receive this offering.
You're wise, Julia. Blood is what needs to make the heart go. Everyone knows this.
Beazle Man, perhaps you would like to do the honor.
Julia, you didn't say anything about blood.
You said you were coming here to help. Do you want
I
to help?
am here to help.
Okay, come here. Hold my hand.
What a...
Come on.
Dakota realizes that there's no way out of this cave. There's no way away from these witches. He's trapped.
Dakota, I think you might need to keep your cool.
Okay.
This is, this is not like anything you were promised, right?
All right.
It'll only hurt a little.
All right. Dakota's not good at keeping his cool. Oh, well, a 7. That's not so bad.
It's not so bad.
How bad is it?
So the price for staying here. I mean, is there something specifically you're afraid of?
I mean, is Beazle Man going to keep some of this blood for personal use?
We were taking that for granted, right?
All right, wait. Let me just quickly look at this. Keep your cool. When I'm trying to act despite fear.
Yeah.
Oh, and so I think I'm wanting to, keep up my end of the bargain. But and you wanted to know what I'm afraid of?
Yeah.
Death.
Death.
That I'll never make it out of this cave alive.
Okay.
Or that I will get I'll end up like Alice somehow.
Yeah, I think when you feed your blood to this ritual, the person you're targeting will know who you are.
Okay.
So that's, I guess, Mr. Steiner, right?
Well, that's Mr. Steiner. Will he get a string on me?
Let's say that's the mechanical effect, right? Okay. So the other witches in the coven have kind of like prepared this ritual space that's, you know, full of twigs and kind of mucky rivulets to this drier ash, and like they've like taken the heart box away from Bieselman, and they've kind of half buried it here with the box and all. And he takes your hand, like he grabs your wrist with this talon of flinty rock that's jutting out of his mucky limbs. And he looks at the kind of, I don't know, the pale, milky, soft skin on the inside of your wrist, and he turns it over to the back, and he just rends this flint knife down your arm, kind of cutting into the muscle on your arm, and this blood just pours out of it and into the box, and the box fills up with your blood, kind of, and like the last thing you see of the heart, just before it submerges, it beats.
Bum, bum. So despite himself, Dakota thinks it's kind of cool. Even though he's terrified, he thinks the heart beating is kind of cool.
Yeah. So you should take a harm
some
for
kind
that.
of weird.
Yeah.
He knows it's Steiner's heart, and he's somehow in his mind's eye he's picturing Steiner.
Yeah. So
You
I
did
think
that, Dakota. You did that. You did that.
so. I think the kind of result of this ritual, I think now, is that Steiner is kind of mortal, or, you know, in so far as it counts, is mortal, right? He can be slain because his heart is beating again. Does that make sense? Okay.
And
Jack,
somehow that is going to lead us to getting Alice back.
Yeah,
Or
definitely.
We'll see.
I mean, maybe.
okay.
Somehow. I have an idea now for that, but get back to me. So, Jack, how are you feeling? Now, do you want to read out your darkest self?
Yeah. For folks who missed me reading out the darkest self last time.
Well, in that case,
I can read it out again. That's fair. People need to be reminded. Okay. You transform into a terrifying wolf creature. You crave power and dominance, and those are earned through bloodshed. If anyone attempts to stand in your way, they must be brought down and made to bleed. You escape your darkest self when you wound someone you really care about, or the sun rises, whichever comes first.
Okay, awesome. So what does that look like again? I know we've kind of seen.
Oh man, yeah, I think we see like Jack really angry after, even though he's the one that broke up with Dakota, he's really angry about it because people. And I think he's like, we see him like pounding a couple lockers and like going off maybe into like the changing room for the locker room, and like we hear like the lockers buckle under his fists, and like then a howl.
Is there someone in particular whose ass you want to kick?
I mean, who has Bria inside of them?
So many people, but Evan, I think, is the correct answer.
I know. I think Evan is the one that needs to be like it's a throw between Evan and Maria, but I think Evan's like the one that really needs to be dealt with right now.
Sounds good. So like when you sniff out Evan, like what Well, apart from the mushrooms, right? I mean, what does Evan smell like to you now in wolf form, in his form?
I mean, like underneath, like the smell of axe. I assume he
No.
that's okay.
That's an X.
Yeah, okay. An X on axe. I'll say, yeah, he smells like brimstone. He smells like sulfur.
And Evan, where does Jack find you?
So first of all, Stephen, that was so good. Thank you. Under the spell of axe. So Evan is on the roof of the school still. He's been
Okay.
like pacing around smoking cigarettes.
Yeah, and I think clawing up, you hear like a scrabbling of claws on rooftop. And I think clawing up, there is a large black wolf with a kind of brown mane that we in the audience have seen before. I think this might be the first time Evan has seen it though. And it snarls at you.
So does Evan know about Jack? Does Evan know that about Jack's alter form?
Geez, have any of us actually told Evan about this? No, I don't think you do.
I don't think so.
Interesting.
But helpfully, Bria like rubs her hands with glee. Oh, goody! You can kick Jack's ass now.
Oh, that's fair. Bria
Yes.
knows.
So
Hollowell, did you not get the memo? Yeah, Jack's a werewolf and he's going to tear you apart, but not without without my help. That would be the case.
So I think that Evan says, it would be nice if you would keep me in the loop on this shit. And he throws a cigarette down and kind of faces off against Jack. And he is, well, we'll see what happens here shortly, but he's giving in to Bria so that he can summon the dark power and the fire.
Okay. So are you looking for like a different power?
I was looking through the powers to find something that I thought would fit well from another playbook. And nothing really jumped out at me. But I think it's going to depend on what Steven decides Jack does here at the moment. I'm assuming he's going to come over.
I mean, unless you do something to like intervene, I'm gonna pounce on you.
So yeah,
There's like the vampire's hypnotism, maybe. Oh no, is that the no? It's the vampire's hypnotism.
Yeah, that was I think my first inkling as well. But I think for that to work, the person you're doing it on has to have no strings on.
Oh,
right.
No, I don't think I do anymore.
Oh, you don't. You're on 0. Yeah. So hypnotic. Let me read it out. You can hypnotize people who have no strings on. You roll with hot. On a 10+, they do exactly what you wish and have no idea that anything is wrong. On a 7 to 9, the hypnosis works, but choose 1. They realize exactly what you've done to them. They fuck up your commands. Their sanity is unhinged. Like, who cares, says Evan.
Those
I think
are all awesome.
Those options. And if you need help with that roll, you could also use the power flows through you to get a +2 as well. Right?
Get the double.
Because, all in for a penny, in for a pound, as we say on this side of the Atlantic.
Exactly. So just to clarify, in this particular case, shutting someone down would not work. And I'm thinking like he kind of shrugs it off, but that's not something that would really keep Jack from attacking or lashing out at
Shutting someone down could give you a string, which would then like, because I have no strings on you, which you could try to like off tempt me with, but it wouldn't, it's not like a like direct line of defense. No,
It's not a direct line of defense. Okay.
unless it is. I don't know, Donna. You
Yeah.
Google it and see.
I mean, I'm like, it could be, but in like a less immediately violent situation,
Okay.
right?
Cool. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take the 2 strings to get a bonus and go hypnotic.
Okay.
So it's going to be a +1 with his with his -1 of hot that he starts with.
Yeah. What does it look like when? I guess you have to give us your command. Like, what are you telling Jack to do?
So Jack says.
And what does it look like when you turn hypnotic?
Yeah. So I think that Jack and Evan lock eyes, and obviously there's something about Jack in those wolf eyes, and Jack sees something beyond just beyond Evan in Evan's eyes. Maybe it's just a hint of Bria, or maybe it's something else. And he says, if you just calm down, we can talk about how Julia's fucking up the situation for your sister. And that's what he says. Oofda. So it did not work.
So what did you roll there? I don't know.
6.
A 6. Okay. So 6 total, right?
Yep.
Okay. All that investment and no little returns.
I know.
The value
That's
of your
okay.
shares can go down as well as up in this game. Yeah. I mean,
Oh yeah, I can feel you worming your way and trying to worm your way inside.
Mhm.
And that just makes me angrier. I think that if anything, you see the wolf's back crack a little bit as it just kind of bulks out just a tiny bit more. Like you're just like making me give more into the wolf now. And I leap onto you and like lock my jaw around you. So is it okay if I give my
yeah. I mean, I was just
Yeah.
wondering if I wanted to make a move right now, a reaction right now, but no, you go ahead with your throat tearing. How actually, I know my reaction now, but I'll give it after you do intense violence against Evan.
Oh wow. Okay. That's a 4.
Wow. Okay. That's shockingly bad.
This is-
So
it's like
remember
the
to take
lamest-
XP, both of you, for your
lamest
terrible
fight ever.
rolling. So falling off the roof would be comic, yeah. So yeah, here it is. Let me think. Let me scratch my ear. That's helpful. So why don't you describe just how you're attacking and like tearing into Evan for a minute, and then I'll cut in with my move.
I mean, yeah, I think I was gonna like leap onto Evan and like tackle him over and then like just go in for the like bite around the neck to rip his throat out.
Okay. So Evan, my reaction is to give Bria a string on you, because, you know, like, can we get the entire group in their darkest self at the same time is always a question I've wondered about in Monsterhearts. And Bria just says inside your head, "Oh my fucking god, I have to do this myself, don't I?" And to Jack's eyes, Evan stops like struggling and just like clasps a hand over your maw and just flips you off him. And he stands over you like as you regain your feet. And yeah, you just lose your wolf. You, without any kind of sense of the change coming from within you, you just like change back into Jack. Now be a good boy, Jack, says Evan, apparently. Okay. So
I think do I like recognize the kind of diction of Bria in his voice?
yeah, I think so. It's like Evan,
And I think
at this moment in time, Evan is not piloting the starship Evan.
Yeah, and I think we like flash back to that chase through the woods, and we hear her saying the same thing in the woods as she's chasing me. And I think I'm gonna take traumatized again and choke up.
Okay. So before we cut from this scene, Evan, why don't you read out your darkest self?
You find yourself shivering, needy, and alone. The dark power will make some daunting, open-ended demands. Every demand fulfilled brings you closer to feeling whole again and removes one of the dark power's strings on you. You escape your darkest self when the dark power is out of strings, or you make a bargain with an even more powerful entity.
Okay. And God knows there's few and far between of those in this town right now. But okay, let's cut back to Julia and Dakota. You like crawling out of the hole, or kind of making your way back to town, or what?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, yeah, there's actually a special door in that cave where you can just open it and you're back on the edge of the woods.
So I see Julia just shooing Dakota out that door. And, and when Dakota gets back to his car, I don't know what Julia does, but when Dakota gets back to his car, he gets in and he starts driving, and he's feeling really amped up and also a little disoriented by the blood loss and the fear and the excitement. And he finds that he's driving towards the lighthouse for some reason. The old Howling Winds, is that what it's called? Lighthouse. And he's remembering as he pulls up, and he doesn't know why he's pulling up. He's remembering early that morning with Bay, when Bay pushed him into his desk and grabbing his injured arm. Now he has two injured arms, by the way, just to paint the picture for you. The bleeding arm and the wolf bitten arm with stitches. And he realizes that there was something hot about that when Bay pushed him into that desk. And he knows Bay lives with his dad. His dad's the lighthouse keeper there. And so he goes into the lighthouse, and it's dark in the lighthouse. But he just starts exploring, seeing if he can find Bay. And it's late now.
Is Julia tagging along or making her own way back to town?
Does Dakota let me tag along? Did I get in your car with you, Dakota?
No, I think this is a Dakota solo mission.
Okay.
But I don't know what happens back at the cave. I don't know if you had businesses with your coven or not.
No, I did leave with you. I did leave with you, knowing that that magic might take some time to play itself out. And I am now wondering where Jack is. Wanting to find out if Jack's all right. I sense that Jack might not be all right, and that's pulling me.
So maybe I dropped you off at school.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, Jack, I guess, does Julia find you, sometime after this rooftop fight? And Evan has maybe vanished into thin air.
Sure, yeah. I'm like shivering out in the cold of the rooftop. I think as we said, this is a rather bloody transformation back into a human. So like again, covered in like wolf gore.
At it again, eh, Jack?
What did you do? Bria
I'm-
was here. She was speaking through Evan.
I didn't do that. That's been going on for a long time.
Whatever you did, she's more powerful now.
Well, you were there when Bria agreed to release her hold on me. She wouldn't let go of Evan. I don't know. I don't think anything I did has anything to do with what's going on with her and Evan. Why are you blaming me? I'm trying to help, remember?
Because it seems like for everything you do, you just make it worse.
We'll see about that.
If you're so in control like you say, Julia, maybe you should go fight Bria yourself. And I'm pulling that string to tempt you.
To tempt me to go fight Bria.
Yeah. I think you should be at 4 XP. Did you not mark XP for your miss earlier? No, for the string pull earlier.
I don't think I've touched my own XP.
Okay, so you should you're hitting 5 XP. So if you accept that.
If I accept to go attack Bria myself, I feel like the only way I want to attack Bria is to re-enlist the Mud Coven.
Mm-hmm.
I think I need their help. I don't think I can do it on my own.
I kind of look at you and I'm angry at this point. I'm traumatized and I just picked up projected blame, and I just like look at you and say, you're always acting like you're so in control, Julia, but you couldn't help me and you couldn't help Alice either. And I am shutting you down, and I get to treat it as if you have the condition, as though you had the condition at fault for Alice's death.
Okay.
So I have a +0 on this shut someone down here. That's a 9. More conditions for Jack. Let's see here. Let's see. Do you have any strings left on me? Nope. I'm gonna pick up another string on Julia. I didn't have to. When the person turns you down, you effectively don't spend the string, I believe, right?
No, if the person turns you down, you still have spent the string.
Oh, okay. Okay. In that case, I'll go back to one string on Julia, but Julia gets to give me a condition.
Okay, and how, let's see. How do I know what conditions I can give you? Oh, is that what's listed under mood?
Yeah, no, whatever's most fictionally appropriate, whatever mud you want to throw at
Yeah,
Jack.
right now I have heartless, irrational, poor impulse control, and traumatized. So, something other than those four.
I'm gonna say paralyzed with sadness.
Okay. I think it probably ends with me like shouting at you, and then I just start coughing, and I probably cough up some wolf blood and just kind of start crying on the roof.
Okay, so yeah, Dakota, this is a booty call to the lighthouse. Night swimming, maybe.
Yeah, so I just imagine the lighthouse being really dark and kind of creepy. The light is up at the top, but the building itself, the tower,
Yeah.
is where Dakota is kind of. And I imagine it being, because this is where the heart was found and all sorts of things, right? Initially, I
This is
imagine
where Evan hid the heart.
Evan hid the heart.
Yeah, yeah.
Hid the heart. That's
He knew
right.
a secret hiding place.
A secret hiding place. So I imagine there's like old crates and because I think Bay's dad lives like in the house that's adjacent, but Dakota just has this sense like Bay's here somewhere, but he can't see him, so he's just walking around, maybe climbing the stairs, and he doesn't call out though. But it's obvious the stairs are super creaky. It's obvious that he's there.
Yeah, is this like one of those wrought iron staircases that you kind of see down and maybe have a little bit of a sense of vertigo climbing?
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, that's right. Wrought iron is good. Wrought iron, creaky wrought iron.
Yeah.
So I guess it's to the next level. There's like one that goes to each level.
Yeah,
So he's made it to the second level up into the tower, and then there's a window there looking out onto the ocean. And Dakota goes over to the window and he looks out.
And what do you think? I think maybe like the tide is out and you can kind of see someone like swimming like 200 yards out as the waves kind of crash in. And obviously it's Bay, right?
Yeah.
It's too far away to make out.
Swimming in the Pacific is cold. But I assume it's Bay. So Dakota makes it down, makes his way back down the stair and pops out of the lighthouse and walks down onto the beach, headed towards Bay. And I think Bay's coming out of the water.
And what, like when he turns around and kind of strides out through the surf at you, like what strikes you as being, not exactly human?
There's something about, at first, I just saw his body is black because it's dark and he's in silhouette, and maybe the moon's behind on the water. But then as he's coming out, it's almost like the dark that he's made of is like shiny. And it's not just darkness because there's no light on his body. It's some kind of intrinsic shiny darkness that's coming off of him. And Dakota can just make out his eyes. As he comes out, and they look menacing.
This is kind of like slick, kind of seaweedy
Yeah, that
thing
kind
going
of
on.
slick, kind of slimy seaweed. Yeah, kind of feel to him. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
not
I
touching
think
him, but he looks that way.
yeah. I don't. So I think he kind of sees you properly and stops and kind of takes a step back further into the ocean and kind of beckons you on.
Huh. So Dakota moves forward. Dakota's drawn now to the danger of Bay, and as he's walking forward, he says, "I think I know what you want."
Okay. So I guess that's a roll to turn him on, right?
Yeah, I think I think Dakota says, "I think you're trying to make up your mind about whether to fuck me up or to just fuck me."
Why not both?
and that's the next line. But maybe you can have both.
Okay.
So then
Sorry
I'll do
for
a
stealing
roll.
your thunder.
I set you up for it, so.
Yeah.
Where's the dice roller? Okay. Cake. Let's call it cake. You can have it and eat it too.
I'd love it if that last exchange was actually part of the actual flirtation, where
Yeah.
Bay said that. And then,
Bay said it. Oh, Bay said it. I like that even better. That's
Totally. I was definitely being Bay in that moment.
You were being Bay. Okay,
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
Thank you.
So let me know what your roll is.
13.
13. Okay. So yeah, take another string, and I mean, what does a sea creature really think the person who follows them into the surf wants?
I don't know how sea creatures think. I'm not even sure what kind of sea creature this is, but I just know he feels powerful and hot right now.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So let me know if I'm overstepping, right?
Okay.
Because you did follow him into the surf, right? And he takes your shoulders and embraces you and starts to kiss you, and then before you know it, you're swallowing water.
Mm-hmm.
And if you maybe you start to struggle, but like his those are sinewy arms. He looks like a scrawny motherfucker, but there's some real strength there. And yeah, he intends to drown you right here and now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So let's cut
Okay.
while you decide exactly how far you're willing to let him take that. Let's cut over to Evan.
So after the incident on the rooftop, Evan got on his motorcycle. Well, I guess if Bree is allowing him to, he gets on his motorcycle. He rides out to the old barn. And then he's going to text Julia, and he says, Julia, why didn't you listen to me? I really needed you to help me, and I needed you to help Alice.
No thanks, Bria.
So I think that when Julia shuts him down, he actually tries texting Dakota, and he says, I don't, Dakota, I don't know who to turn to. I'm sure Dakota's phone is sitting up on the sand by the beach. Maybe it's in his shoe. But he says, I don't know who to turn to, Dakota. Julia won't listen to me. I feel like I need some help. I feel like I need somebody to help me here. So again, he might not get anything. Is
Yeah,
Bria asking?
Dakota is not coming to the phone right now.
Right, exactly. Is is Bria immediately making some kind of demands of?
Yeah. I think you can like hear her tapping her fingernails against the inside of your skull.
Yeah.
Like, come on, they're not your friends. You better buck up. Hey, here's an idea. Why don't you bring someone here and we can sacrifice them on the spot? Blood is good for that kind of shit, I hear.
For what? For what? I don't want to do that. I don't want to bring anybody up here. But
You don't want to bring anyone up here.
I couldn't do that.
Okay. How about we do it with you then?
I don't know who I would even bring here.
Oh, I don't know. Pick the shiniest girl in school or guy or whatever. I don't care.
So Evan will text Maria and say, hey, Maria, what you got going on?
So yeah, I mean, I think you get I don't know how one is effervescent over text, but Maria manages it. Remind me, you don't have a string on her anymore.
You're right.
Yeah. Just hanging out. How about you? I mean, I'm a bit bummed out after the memorial, but what can you do?
Yeah. He replies, do you want to cruise around on my bike? And then a little motorcycle emoji.
Oh, that sounds badass. I mean,
You're trying to turn her on?
yeah, I think so.
Am
Turn
I at
her
this
on,
point?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So this is gonna go great. So it's -1.
It's -1. What's the result?
It's a 4.
It's a 4.
It's a 4, Dunna.
Wow. Okay. Sorry. Sorry.
It's Max.
So, oh boy. So I think so here's what happens. So first of all, you're doing what you were told to do. So I'm losing a string on Evan from Bria. So you're getting there. You get an XP, obviously. And Maria texts back, sure, I'm going to bring a few friends. And she shows up a little bit later with CJ and Kayla.
Okay. CJ and
Kayla.
Trying to remember Kayla.
Kayla is your old dirt bike buddy who used to be seeing Zoe. Sorry, who is currently allegedly seeing Zoe.
Okay. Cool.
I'm not sure if the machinations of the Get Zoe and Megan crowd have borne fruit yet. Yeah, and CJ is obviously the motorcycle creep who dropped out of school.
Yes. Okay, cool. So I think Evan, when he sees Maria, says, hey, so you brought friends. It's cool. That's good. That's good. Hey CJ. And he like gives him like a hand slap thingy.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So I guess we remember, right, that at least as far as Evan was telling people, he and CJ were not friends.
That's right.
Both guys who rode on bikes, you know.
Yes.
What's the real relationship? Is it just that simple, or are you also friends?
No, they're not friends.
Okay.
But they know each other. You know, you run into people when you visit the only motorcycle shop in town or whatnot, I suppose. Yeah. And I think that Evan moves in to like try to give Kayla a hug. It's like, hey, haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks, but I'm probably gonna break up with Zoe soon anyway. She's been a buzzkill the last couple of days.
That's a good idea. Now, who was Kayla? Wait, was Zoe friend or an item with Julia?
No.
Okay. Was Kayla?
There was only one secret girlfriend.
Okay.
So Megan and Zoe used to date, and when they broke up, Zoe and Kayla started dating.
Okay.
Yeah.
High school,
yeah.
Cool. So I guess Evan's gonna roll a joint, and they'll sit around smoking it for a little bit. He's kind
of so you're in the old barn, right? Or are you hanging around outside? Okay.
No, we're inside the old barn.
So you can kind of see, like, maybe it's your imagination, right? But do you think you can see that blood stained writing on the wall, or inscriptions on the wall, right? And there's, you know, maybe there's signs that something was buried here before, and it's just, you know, there's a little bit of unevenness or darkness in the dirt floor. Why take one body into the sacrificial pit? You know, take three.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I think he's gonna he's smoking, he has a hand in his pocket, and he walks over to check out that writing on the wall, or you know where it was in the dream, and he's like kind of scratching at the wood with his fingernail. Does it look like there's anything really there?
Yeah, I mean, not really.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously you could gaze into the abyss, right? But you've already seen it. You know what it looks like. It's just not really. You're not really sure that that it exists in this world still.
Okay.
And I think Maria appears on your shoulder. So what are we looking
at? So Evan says, yeah, I don't know. Somebody there's a witch's coven or somebody who buried a heart here, maybe, and was performing some kind of weird old ritual.
Cool.
And it looks her in the eyes.
Is this where it happened? Is this where Alice and that girl Bria were killed?
Well, I mean, here at the barn.
Wow. Yeah. So wicked.
Yeah, it was pretty fucked up.
I thought you were her friend. Are you okay being here?
Yeah, you know, it's I don't know what's going on anymore. I needed to be with some people. This seemed like a place to be. So, thanks for you guys showing up here. I was hoping we could spend some time just you and me, but those guys are cool.
Oh, sorry, I didn't get that subtext at all.
Yeah. That's why I put like the motors. That's why I said motorcycle, because it's like there's only room for one more person on it besides me. So.
Oh. Oh yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
So,
hey, how are things working out for you and your parents?
oh, we're settling in pretty well. This town is kind of amazing. It's like so much like these wooded hills up here are just amazing. I don't know if you've ever gone up there. There's some like amazing caves up there.
Yeah. That checks out. That's super cool.
So, like, what is it that you really want to do?
Like here?
Yeah.
Uh,
Did you want to dig up that heart?
I think that like at this point he's like Evan's seeing if he's getting any sense from Bria about whether she wants that.
I mean, I guess like if she helps you to dig up the heart, that will mean you won't have to get your hands dirty, but your hands are going to get bloody because like, you're going to kill her and drain her blood onto the heart, right? That's how we're going to do this.
Yeah, the problem is there's some other people here.
Oh, are they going to help you?
I don't think I could convince them to help me.
You're going to kill them?
I'm not really set up to do this.
Okay, well, figure it out. I'll come back to you in 5. We got other irons than fire, Hallwell,
Okay.
Okay. And yeah, I think that is a good point to take our break. How about 10 minutes? Yeah, okay. So yeah, I think we're gonna cut to Dakota.
So I imagine that when Dakota starts drinking water, I imagine he doesn't try to disentangle himself from Bay at all, but I can see him locking his mouth onto Bay's mouth and trying to get air from Bay and trying to express his desire to live, but connected to Bay, and maybe pulling a string to try to tempt him to give him air, and also I imagine that as he's wrapped around, he's got his legs wrapped around him, his arms wrapped around him, the back of Bay's neck, he comes across a silver chain that he pulls on as he's begging for air, and I can drop a string on Bay.
Okay, and this is to like not let you die.
Yes,
yeah,
basically. Give me air.
Yeah.
I think that's the most direct request, is give me air. It's a very visceral kind of request. It's not a verbal request.
Yeah, and I think you feel this, your lungs like cough out all that seawater as he kind of breathes into you. I mean, it might take a minute, right, for you to fully feel that you're not drowning anymore, but then you're on the surf on the beach, gasping for air again. And you can see that chain that has like a symbol on it, right, which I think starts to glow, right? It's like it looks like a trophy, like it's a trophy a symbol on like a medal or something. And it, it doesn't really fit anything you've seen before, but I think maybe it starts to glow this red hot color, and you can kind of maybe like hear the singeing on Bay's skin, and Bay kind of hoarsely whispers that he's gotta go. I'm being called.
Okay. Wow, we definitely have unfinished business, Bay. Don't leave me for long. And I think Dakota is switching his lover at this point to Bay. And I don't know if we had sex or not. I couldn't quite tell in the narrative because Jack will know if we did.
Yeah.
But it's fine if we didn't, because he's going to go into his darkest self.
Well, yeah. I wouldn't have thought so.
Okay. There was the whole drowning stuff to do.
There was the whole drowning stuff. I'm not sure that counts.
So that's a lot more. What do you call it? Yeah, they're still unfinished.
I mean, that's positive, right?
Yeah, it's positive. Good drowning. Yeah.
What?
So Dakota's hacking on the beach, and because suddenly Bay's gone.
Yeah. So do you think that, like, is there like a moment that decision kind of reveals itself to Dakota? Is there an out for his darkest self in that? Or what do you feel?
I don't know, because the darkest self, my way out is.
I mean, I feel like maybe like if we wanted to play it that way, because we're running late on time anyway. Maybe that is the like that breaking of like that changing of the love is enough to break that bond between us, that psychic bond, and I can feel that. And you know that you've like stabbed a knife right into my heart, as Julia will probably do so soon.
As if Jack didn't need more emotional pain heaped upon him.
Hey, he left me. I mean, why am I the villain now?
Okay. And yeah, I think you see Bay just kind of start to run up the beach, slowly become, even like as the distance in the darkness grows, like becomes more and more human, the more like that he's on dry land.
Got it. So that was a thrilling ride for Dakota. He should be terrified, but he's way turned on right now.
Okay, so Evan's at the barn. How about Jack and Julia? Where are you making your way to?
I mean, I kind of guess we're good. I don't know. I mean, I declined Jack's temptation to fight Bria, but at the same time, it seems like going to the barn is what's necessary. And now I want to sacrifice Maria too.
I mean, it's because Evan has an eye on her to be his new boss, right? Yeah. The hatred is not more or less for Evan, although there's some of that. It's for whoever his boss is.
Mm-hmm.
So unfair. Okay, and what about Jack? Are you pumped up for this excursion to the old barn, or are you still kind of shivering and?
Yeah, I think I'm shivering. I'm wearing my spare gym sweats. I'm I'm not like looking good. Like I probably looked a bit hungover, honestly, from like the kind of like sudden drop out of my like wolf form.
So, okay. So let's cut back to the barn, and at some stage, Jack and Julia will enter stage left.
Before they arrive, can Evan have a short scene with Maria?
Yep.
Does that work?
Yep.
Okay. So I think that so Evan and Maria had been talking, and Evan suddenly says, "Listen, Maria, I need help. I need help from someone in your from someone that you probably know, maybe Oberon or someone."
I'm not sure I know what you mean.
I need help from your maybe just from you. I've got a problem with Maria. I'm sorry, with Bria. Bria, and he's like trying to get it out as fast as he can before Bria just kind of tries to shut him down, I guess. After Alice died, Bria's been in my head. I can't get her out of my head. I need some help. I need some help getting her out of my head. You were one of your people.
And she looks like a little bit confused at this. So yeah, I mean, Bria cuts in, right?
Yeah.
Straight into your head.
Yeah.
Listen, Hallwell. Just fucking take that dagger out of your back pocket and slit her throat now.
So he is trying to not do that. Keep my cool.
Yeah, I think maybe keeping your cool.
He's like trying to keep his hands in front of him. He's got them on his thighs of his jeans and trying to keep from reaching back. Cold. Okay, it's another -1. Seven.
Okay. So yeah, what exactly are you afraid of?
I am afraid that that Bria is going to force me to grab that dagger and sever my lifeline. Such as it is.
So what is a good? How would your actions leave you vulnerable? Yeah, I think yeah, if you are not willing to do this, she's gonna reach out to one of her other minions and bring them into this.
Okay. Yeah, I'll let her do that. I understand that will happen, and I'll if I can make a deal here real quick, then I'll
okay.
I'm willing to make a deal.
So yeah, I guess so you're continuing the conversation with Maria. Listen, like you're not of our blood. If we bring you into our lands, you're gonna die. Everyone you love will be gone by the time you return.
No, I'll serve here. I'll serve you here. I'll
No,
help your family
we can't
here.
protect you here.
He says, oh, I'm sorry you said that.
But you can come with me. Like I can protect you that over there, but not here. So you hear Kayla scream. And CJ is wiping a bloody machete off his jeans. And he looks over at you and winks.
So I think Evan is Evan is super confused and being pulled in all kinds of directions, and he is going to go try to knock CJ unconscious. He picks up like a piece of wood on his way over, and he's going to run towards CJ to try to knock him unconscious.
Okay. So let's cut over to Dakota. So you've gotten back it. Are you probably wet, right?
I'm
soaked to
all
the
wet.
skin in your clothes,
Soaked to the
right?
skin.
Yeah.
But when I got back to the car, I did find my phone, which was in the car, and I saw the text from Evan.
Yeah.
I can't remember what did the text from Evan say again?
It was like, please come to the old barn. I need your help. Julie is not helping, or something like that.
It was something like that. Yeah. And since and Dakota thinks, okay, I don't want to miss this, because Dakota doesn't like missing anything. He has a lot of FOMS. So I think he's going to head over to the barn in his drenched wet clothes and with his new found lease on life.
Okay. So I think this is where Julia and Jack step in. I guess however you're approaching the barn, right, you hear a scream as someone is hacked into with a machete. What do you do?
Well, I think that while all that was happening, I just want to say that I gave Jack an herbal potion as we walked through the woods, so that Jack could feel a little better, because I need Jack to be able to like get it together a little bit to get over to the barn. So yeah, we hear the scream, and we see Dakota approaching also, and we all start running toward the barn together. And we enter the barn and we see Evan first. And Evan is looking disheveled, confused.
And swinging a plank at CJ, right?
Yeah. And it's hard to fully understand what's going on. I don't know who screamed. But yeah, I'm trying to assess the situation.
Okay. I mean, yeah, it's dark and frenetic and chaotic. How about Jack? What are you doing?
Oh, I think that I think that Caleb was there. Caleb is the creepy one. No, CJ is the creepy one, right?
CJ is the creeper, the biker.
I mean, Jack is seeing CJ there at the machete. Jack is gonna, I guess, try to check him.
Okay, awesome.
And I think like Like yeah, I probably say like I probably shout something garbled and not entirely coherent about how he hurt Alice. He probably did. He was one of Bria's minions this whole time.
So yeah, Evan and Jack are going at him right at the same time.
Yeah.
So you're both, volatile as fuck. So I think this is just going to be a straight, one guy coming at him, fair game, but one guy from the front and one from blindside is just a wipeout, I think. Why don't you each describe like a particular move or section of the fight that you think is awesome, and we'll just wipe them out like that. But let's Evan go first, maybe.
So Evan is rushing at him with the plank, and I think that he sees Jack rushing toward them both. And given his history with Jack, I think that he is like concerned that Jack's coming to kick Evan's ass. So so he's like, holy shit. And he steps around to the other side of CJ and swings the plank, hits him in the head, and he's a little I'm sorry, and CJ is a little off balance, and Evan is trying to keep CJ between him and Jack. So that's what happens. He's mostly trying to keep Jack from getting at him.
I mean, and I'm running into tackle Jack, so like, do we just end up falling into this big pile?
Is this going to turn erotic?
I hope not. I mean, maybe once CJ gets out of the way.
So
yeah.
So I guess CJ is like swinging his machete at Evan and trying to avoid getting a plank in the head when Jack like barrels into him. Are you like knocking him out or killing him, or what kind of
I just have my fists, and I don't think I'm like a wolfing out, so I don't have much unless I get the machete from him. I don't have much in the way of like active murderousness.
Okay. Evan?
For Evan,
active murderousness?
Like, yes, because this is like, here's the personification of Bria outside of his own body. So he can't stop himself, and he just keeps hitting him in the head with that plank until he is dead.
And yeah, Bria is like encouraging you, right? Go on, smack that 2x4 in his head, break that skull. I think it's something you want to do anyway, right? And the fact that Bria is cheerleading is just another level of wrong. Do you keep going or stop short of murder, or
no? It's like it's murder, and when he's done, he drops the plank and he drops to his knees and puts his hands on his head. It's just, there's no way out of this for him, so he's losing it.
So Julia, I guess initially, you didn't quite know what to make of it, but what do you make of this?
Well, I am also watching Maria. I'm seeing all this happen. I'm watching Maria, and I'm having a sense of the power play between Bria and Maria right now. And I'm seeing that Bria has been in control of Evan, and that Evan I can see that Evan has been trying to offer himself to Maria. And I don't want Maria to get a hold of Evan, because I already have a peaceable arrangement with Bria, and I don't want Maria involved. So I really want for this evening to end up sacrificing Maria.
So yeah, Maria is like standing with her back to the barn wall and obviously pretty horrified at this kind of multiple murder just hacked out in front of her. And when things quieten down and maybe Evan is on his knees, she is sidling to the exit.
I think I might want to hex Maria. Is that an option right now?
It is, if you're gonna meet her gaze and chant at them in tongues.
I think you
Yeah,
got
I
an
think I want to
advance.
hex her. I want to get inside her because I want to actually. I don't want her to get out of here.
Okay, I'm not sure you have a hex that will do that.
Well, if I'm inside her mind, seeing through her eyes, don't I have more influence?
No, you're usually just a passenger. That. Well, when you were inside Jack, there was two things going on. First of all, you got a mixed result, which added complications, which was like you were feeling the body, and then Jack gave you control. So
what does this mean? Dakota said, I have an advance. I can take all the remaining hexes. What does that mean?
So if you see, you just got up to 5 XP. So that means you take an advance. If you scroll all the way to the bottom, well, not all the way to the bottom, nearly to the bottom, you see there's a list of advances there.
Yeah.
And so one of those advances is take all the remaining hexes.
Okay.
So the remaining 3.
Oh, I like that. Okay, I'll do that.
So
I'll take all the remaining hexes.
So then, I mean, in that case, if you wanted to say like prevent someone from doing something, probably the best one of those is illusions, I would say, thinking. Like you basically make them believe reality is doing something different, and then they, want to conform to that reality they're experiencing.
Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna give Maria snakes and bugs, demonic visages, false prophecies, and non-existent subtext.
It's one of those.
Oh, pick one.
Yeah. But
yeah, so Maria is gonna see what is she gonna see? She's gonna see that there actually is no door. There's no way out. She's just completely trapped. And so she's going to stop trying to leave.
Okay, so it's like one of those 4 things, right?
Yeah.
So is that snakes and bugs kind of surrounding her, keeping her pinned in?
Sure. Okay. Yeah. Snakes and bugs.
Okay. Yeah. Snakes in the barn. Snakes on the barn. Okay, so let's roll plus dark to do your hex.
Roll plus dark. And I do that by adding 1?
Yeah, so you're going to roll 2d6 and add 1.
Okay, so hex Maria. Oh, there's no dice in my roll. Oops. Oh, a 5.
That's pretty bad for magic illusions. Oh, okay. So.
Uh-oh.
So I think, yeah, you see you perform this magic, and you can kind of feel the hex have real power, and then it just glances off Maria like, she doesn't exist for this magic. She is not of this world, and your magic doesn't concern her. And everywhere there's blood on the floor of this barn, where it's like seeping into the earth from the multiple homicides, you can see, and I think maybe just Julia, I think, can see like these snakes just appear out of it. They're, like blood red and, sharp fangs and classic evil snake territories. And they're just like curling out of the wounds and the ground wherever this blood is, and like arching towards you. And like as soon as you like fixate on these, their eyes like, gravitate towards you and yours towards them, and Maria just slips out. Dakota, I think as you're like driving up to the barn, right, you see Maria looking pretty scared, but still kind of confident, right, in this ridiculous manner, right? Like, I don't know, like someone badly acting that they're scared, right? And then she just like runs, like there's like 100-meter dash to the woods near the old barn, and she is going at it.
I could try to intercept her, but I think I'm gonna head into the barn because, or actually, maybe Dakota gets a feeling like, what is she running from or to? Yeah, but the drama in the barn's probably better because she was running from it. So I think he's going to the barn. He hesitates a moment.
Wait a minute, the drama queen felt that what was going on in the barn was too much drama for her? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, so if that's too much, then it must be really good.
Okay. It is just enough for Dakota.
I mean, it's hard. It was a hard choice, I have to say. Yeah, so Dakota runs to the door of the barn and enters with his still wet and dripping clothes, and comes upon the scene of Julia flipping out, I assume, right?
Yeah. What's Julia's reaction to these snakes cornering her in?
I mean, she knows what's happened. She knows that her hex has come back on her, so she does know that they're not real, but they're pretty effective. And she's like, wow, that's some good magic I've got there. Getting a window into my own magic. So she's somewhat disabled by these visions, but not completely. So she could still interact with Dakota. So looking away from the snakes removes their power.
So I think, maybe let's get you to keep your cool, to kind of apply your kind of arcane knowledge to kind of ignore the illusion that your kind of human brain is telling you is very much real, right?
Okay.
I mean, what's the worst thing that ever came from one of these illusion spells? Or really what I'm asking is, what are you afraid of?
Going crazy.
Okay.
Okay, so what's my modifier for this roll?
So you're rolling plus cold, which is +2.
Ooh!
Four.
Snake eyes!
Okay.
Wow.
So that's 2 more XP, just in case you're keeping track. But I think I think this might be a good time to trigger the witch's darkest self. And you've got such a big, maybe that's too messy for the last 20 minutes of a session. Yeah, that's probably too messy. Yeah, so I'll stay away from that abyss for right now. But what I will do is this. On the road behind you, Dakota, you hear a car, and it's Mr. Steiner's car. You recognize it from the schoolyard, right, or the parking lot in the school. And the other person in the front seat with him is Bay.
I yell out, "Steiner's here!"
So I think for Julia, right, what you're seeing now, everyone here, like, I think they, in your mind now, they have all turned into snakes, right? Like the kind of illusion you've dispelled it from the ground where the blood is, and now it's kind of crept up into all of your friends. So they have, I don't know, maybe you see a forked tongue, or see the snake eyes whenever they blink, and it's just a little disconcerting.
Just a little
Disconcerting. So let's hear from Jack and Evan. Crumpled over the bloody murder. Jack, you first.
Oh man, I think I just I feel like I'm just kind of lost to this. I think I don't know if it's real or not, but I see Alice's ghost. And I crawl up to you, Julia, and I say, you need to end this, Julia. You need to free Alice. You can use me. You can use my blood. And I guess I will. I'll spend my last string on Julia, the one I got from shutting you down before, and I'm offering you the string to use me as a sacrifice.
I mean, I guess I'm half out of my mind. And what I hear is a snake. I don't even realize it's Jack. And so I feel like this snake is coming at me, and I'm going to defend myself. Oh, Jack. So yeah, I'm going to attack the snake.
With actual fists, or
There's
There's a machete laying there on the ground.
I'm going to step on it.
Okay, but I mean, it's not like a regular snake, right? It's still Jack, just with snake features. Unless yeah.
But I'm so out of my mind that I don't really fully realize it's Jack. I'm just like, there's a snake coming at me.
Okay, so stepping on it sounds like, it's a moment of comic levity as Jack goes, "Ow, that's my toe," or is that how we're playing it?
Yeah, it doesn't really hurt Jack much, but it's enough to make me realize that it is Jack.
The owl is definitely not something that we hear snakes do outside of that Robin Hood movie, right?
Right.
Okay, Evan, how about you?
So Evan sees, he looks up from where he's squatting on the ground or on his knees, and he sees Jack dragging himself over and offering himself. And I think that Evan might be confused about what's happening, but I think he's like, Jack, it's Steiner. It's Steiner. We have to do your wolf thing on Steiner. And he's going to pull the one string that he somehow has on Jack. I don't know how, but he does. He's trying to tempt him to wolf out and go after Steiner.
I mean, I don't know mechanically how that works, but I'd certainly accept it if like Dunna like says it's okay.
You mechanically, you mean like to change into your wolf form?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think in this place full of blood already, right? I think you could very easily find yourself reacquiring the wolf, right? I don't think.
Okay.
I don't think it's a big push for our final climactic scene, right? We're not
Sure.
breaking feature. So yeah, let's go for it. Dakota, what are you doing at the doorway?
So Dakota's shocked to see Bay with Steiner, and he does not know what is going on around him. This is a completely chaotic environment that he cannot read. So I think he is. I think he's just going to drop into the shadows by the door and wait for them to, if Steiner and Bay come in, to somehow have the drop on them if the shit goes south.
Okay. If something looks like a rabbit hole at any point, you might go down it.
I will go down it. Yeah. That was the other temptation, to run after Maria, but that didn't work. Okay. Ready to run down a rabbit hole.
Yeah. A rabbit hole will travel, or something, is the is the phrase that comes to mind. Okay. So yeah, I think. Yeah, so when like they get out of the car, Steiner and Bay, like kind of right outside the right outside the barn, and like Jack is transforming into a wolf, and Bay starts to transform as well, so into this sea creature that you were embracing like an hour ago or whatever. And you see Steiner is holding a halter. Right, he's holding like a piece of a bridle, which you kind of know is how he controls Bay. And maybe you've seen it and maybe medals like it, like Bay is wearing in his office, right? But never given it much thought, right? Some kind of inspirational coaching tool, right? Also kinky. And Bay just charges at Jack.
I think Dakota's going to jump out of the shadows and try to grab the bridle from
Steiner. Okay. Well, let's give Jack versus Bay their go first. Jack, are you charging at him, or what are you doing?
Sure. I think that's probably what I'm doing.
So yeah, I guess this is a lash out physically.
Yeah. That's an 11.
Okay, awesome. So yeah, I think you deal them harm and they choke up momentarily before they can react. why don't you describe how you completely dominate Bay in this fight?
Like, I think we see me like pouncing onto Bay and like doing this big kind of wolf roar into his face.
Okay, and Dakota, you're doing something, exceptionally foolish and out of your depth. So I guess that is down your rabbit hole. I mean, mechanically speaking, I guess.
What is it? Yeah, I don't know. Is it a lash out, or I'm trying to take something from him?
Yeah, I mean, it's not like you're sneaking up behind him and just like slipping it out of his rucksack or something, right?
No, he's got it in his hand.
You're grabbing it and pulling it out of his hand, right?
Yeah.
So I think lash out physically works.
Okay. Now, is there anything I can do? No, because I don't have any strings or anything on him. There's nothing I can do. Yep. Okay, I will just see what happens. It would be a -1 for volatile.
-1.
Oh, that didn't work.
Okay. So yeah, I think very simply put, right? You grab the bridle and you kind of feel something of Bay's nature in it that gives you pause for a moment, and then Steiner just smacks you across the face, puts you on the ground, and I think he like looks at you and dismisses you all in one go, right? It's like
Dakota's dismissible.
Yeah. Hey, so Julia, what are you up to?
Well, the snakes are fading. And what am I up to? Yeah, I don't know what I'm up to.
You can hex Steiner, right? You can gaze him in the eyes, and binding looks like a good hex, or yeah, binding is pretty good.
I think I don't exactly understand what Steiner is doing, but maybe I don't need to. I guess I see that he is attacking, he and Bay are attacking Jack and Dakota. So that's enough. Okay, yeah, I will bind Mr. Steiner. So yeah, I look at him and I say,
we all know what that means. Or no, we don't. We've never heard this hex before, so it's completely brand new. So yeah, roll +1 for your dark.
Hex Steiner. 5. Jeez.
Oh man, these hexes are definitely not doing you any favors today. They're all new. Maybe that's the fun. You haven't been able to practice them yet.
I know.
So yeah, I think Steiner steps over Dakota and kind of strides towards the barn. As he gets closer and closer, the light inside the barn, changes. Everything, like there's no light source, but everything is like in shadow, except for these glyphs all over the walls, which now kind of erupt in blood. And the blood is seeping out of these glyphs. And Julia, you know that if he steps inside this barn, he will be unstoppable. Evan.
So
Bria, you were, I can't remember where you were last. You were convincing Jack to go take on Steiner, right?
Yep.
So Bria says, you got to kill that motherfucker now, Hollowell. Take that machete and drive it into him, because if he steps over that threshold, we're all done. Like, not dusted, stick a fork in us and flip us over, we're done.
So Evan is in on this plan. He picks up the machete and as he's striding over to Steiner, he shouts, "Let Alice go!" And then he tries to hit him with the machete. He tries to take his head off. So that is plus volatile.
Plus volatile.
And he's gonna he's Bria's powering him on this, so
okay.
It's gonna be a +4.
So it's a net zero strings move, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow. Okay. So so to recall, right, the ritual in the cave in the woods made him mortal.
Yes.
And now he's mortal and you're chopping off his head. So why don't you describe how that goes?
So I guess I should look at lines. So X me if you need to here. So he steps over and he swings the machete, and it goes through halfway through his neck, gets stuck there, and Jack is trying to Jack. Evan's trying to pull it out, but it won't come out, and so his hands are bloody, and the machete handle slips out of his hand. And is that enough for Mr. Steiner?
Sure, but I think with a 14, you can be a little bit more decisive than that.
I think that okay, so it's stuck in there. He's falling, and as Mr. Steiner is falling, I'll crowdsource this. What do you think happens to Mr. Steiner's body, folks, since it doesn't have a heart? It's some kind of like what's the word, simulacrum? It's some kind of like weird thing that was not the original Steiner. I think that no ideas. Deflates. So
I don't think he bleeds. I don't think he bleeds if he doesn't have a heart.
yeah.
What would be pumping the blood out?
Right. So
So maybe it's
no
smoke.
Yeah, that sounds fantastic. So this smoke, this heavy black smoke from like an oil fire slowly seeps up from the body and begins to fill the barn.
Okay. So yeah, I think, just looking at time. So how about we do this? We'll close the scene off, maybe add a few details from everyone, and then let's kind of fast forward to an epilogue for everyone. So yeah, I think with Steiner's demise, the unnatural lighting and the bloody glyphs on the wall fade permanently, and we can kind of see in the center where some of CJ's blood got to where the heart was buried. So there's or there's some kind of thing happening here, which is kind of releasing Steiner's power on the town, and I think you kind of feel like just inside you, your connection with Alice means you can kind of feel that murderous ghost now has the opportunity to move on. And I think maybe with Julia doing a ritual, you can kind of cement that in place and kind of finally usher her beyond. So yeah, do you want to add a little detail to this scene, and then we'll do an epilogue? So Julia, how about we start with you?
Yeah, I think that we're back we go back to the cave where the mud witches are, and enlist their help. And the ritual involves constructing Alice's body out of mud, and Alice starting to inhabit that body. And Alice not only is released from the evil, but she is actually now embodied as a mud witch.
Awesome. How about Jack? You can add a detail to the scene at the barn or the scene in the cave or whatever you prefer.
Oh man, geez, I think Jack has been pretty fucked up by all this. I think probably we see Jack like at the end of that fight, we don't see Jack like going back to a human. And I think the wolf like bounds off into the forests, and like maybe Dakota occasionally catches this massive wolf out of the corner of his eye, but then like whenever he turns to look, like it's gone.
And yeah, Dakota.
So are we doing epilogues, or are we doing details to the scene, or both?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm looking for details to the scene, but
okay,
if we want to,
yeah, mine kind of mix them together. Yeah. I just
okay, details of the scene.
He could be back,
The detail to the scene would be just Dakota running up to the deflated or emptied vessel that was Steiner, and ruffling through the clothes and finding the bridle, and picking it up. And Bay is kind of on the ground where I guess the battle with Jack left him, and Dakota just bringing the bridle to Bay.
Okay,
and
cool.
him reaching up to take it from him. Yeah.
And Evan.
So Evan fumbles out, his hands are shaking, he fumbles out a pack of smokes from his shirt pocket and pulls out his Bic lighter, and lights a cigarette, and I think he knows that Alice is free now in some way, and I think he just starts to sob there as he smokes his cigarette in the barn.
Okay. And so for a quick epilogue, I guess a vignette or a quick description of a scene, however far in the future you think, a day, a week, a month, a year, just to show us maybe how your character is dealing with the world right now. So let's go in the same order and start with Julia.
So Julia has obviously increased her relationship with the Mud Coven and is very happy to have Alice back, even in this form as a Mud Witch. And yeah, Julia just basically moves into the Mud Cave with the Mud Witches.
Okay. And how about Jack? Is he still wolfing out, or what do we see of him?
I mean, I think unless somebody like actually goes out of their way to like try to bring Jack back, I think Jack will stay out there for a while.
What do you think, Dakota? Or are you intervening for Jack, or
He's a new love now. What are you talking about?
He dumped me. Yeah, yeah. I think Jack is just. I guess we'll stay in the Fey Woods and be a magical big bad wolf there. I think
That's fair.
there's a what do you call it? A spin-off series about him. I just see a shot of Dakota walking on the beach, barefoot with his shoes in his hand, and then a cut to the top of one of the dunes where there's this big black horse that looks drenched, shiny, and with red eyes, and kind of he snorts and some fire comes out of his nostrils, and then he just bolts down the beach towards yeah towards Dakota, and Dakota turns around and says, "Finally, the real thing," and he kind of steels himself, and his feet bury themselves in the sand, and then you see these cuts between the horse running through the sand, beating the sand with his hooves, and Dakota getting ready, and Dakota's fist with the bridle in it. And just as the two are about to meet, the screen goes black.
and Evan?
Yeah, when you go last, you have some time to think about stuff, which is nice. I think that we see Evan on his bike, and he is riding somewhere in the American Southwest. He pulls up to like a gas station, and he stopped there, and he lights a cigarette. He's smoking, and it looks like he's thinking, and he's nodding, and we don't hear any voices. He sees a man go into the bathroom there, and he reaches back behind him on the motorcycle and pulls that machete out that he had used to kill Steiner, and he says, "Yes, ma'am," and then follows into the bathroom.
Awesome. So I think that's a great place to wrap. I'll stop recording. We might do some stars or wishes or whatever is good for an end of a campaign. So yeah, hope you enjoyed. See you next time.